How y'all doing? Welcome back to another Celebrity Chef. Dueling Diva Marty is here with me.
Hey.
And it is almost summertime, and you know what that means? That means Kentucky Derby time. So we are going to be making everything Kentucky Derby Southern related today, to include the wonderful beverages.
Yes.
Thank you to First City Players who gave us these great dresses. And we'll be modeling these hats throughout. Now, the Kentucky Derby is all about magnificent hats as well as magnificent food, so check it out. So Marty, today we are making everything Southern, and you can special order these awesome cookbooks. I found this one in a magazine at our local bookstores. So I thought today we would show folks how to make a real sweet tea. And many thanks to our local Cars Safeway who had these great ingredients on hand. So what we're gonna make is a tomato pie. We are going to make little chicken finger sandwiches with tarragon. We're gonna make a dish called tomato in leaves, and that's what you do when you have tomatoes. Now these are super fresh, but this is what, when it's the end of the season in your garden and they're kind of maybe not so great, you make tomato in leaves. And pepper jelly tarts. And to top it all off, lime mint juleps.
Oh yes.
And an herbed Bloody Mary, complete with
Okra.
pickled okra. So
Life
we
is
are
good.
golden, let's get busy. All right, so any Southern lady knows that no Southern garden party is complete without a proper punch bowl, which I got this one at Rendezvous, love those folks. Now, how do you make sweet tea? I myself, I eye it all the time. But what you do is you go to the grocery and they have these handy dandy family-sized tea bags. Throw these in. Now, we're gonna make ours in the punch bowl today, but what you ought to do is put it in a pitcher. You can lay it out in the sun, that's a good way to do it, or you can just throw it in the fridge. So for this size, you're gonna go 3, maybe 4, depends on how strong you like your tea. The secret is the sugar syrup. That is really, really, really important in order to make proper sweet tea.
Okay.
So it is a 3-to-1 ratio. So I need a cup of that sugar, and I've got 3 cups of water right here. And you can actually do 2 because we're gonna double it. Because see, look, it only went up that high.
Oh, so we want 2 cups of sugar.
Yep, do 2 cups, so it's always 3 cups of water to 1 cup of sugar. And you're gonna fill this up. And this should be the first thing that you do in the day. Now, I myself, my fridge is never without a thing of sweet tea, period. So you're gonna go ahead and dump that in and just let it sit, mix it up a little bit. When you're ready to serve it, what you ought to do is take a lemon and cut it like so. And then what I like to do is over the end of my teacup, do it like that, and it looks pretty. You can put a little bit of mint on there if you want, and you've got great sweet tea. Not the healthiest of thing, but nothing is healthy in the South.
True.
So let's let this sit, and we'll get busy with some more good dishes.
Okay.
All right, should we do accents? We've got new hats, pretty dresses. Okay, so the first thing that you do is you need a cup of butter, and we're gonna make the crust, and that will include the butter, some sour cream, as well as flour and a little bit of salt. So we're gonna melt this in the microwave. 1 cup of the butter going in the microwave. And then you're gonna mix it all up in the baking dish. Now, some folks like to use an aluminum foil, and that'll keep it nice. I prefer a little Pam spray because it's prettier, and everything in the South is pretty. Now, you just got back from the South, right?
I did. I went to Memphis and New Orleans.
All right, wonderful. How was it?
It was great. I'm from Memphis, so that was fun to see, you know, old places and old friends and all that.
And what was the craziest thing that you ate?
In Memphis? Actually, there was nothing really crazy in Memphis, but in New Orleans, that probably a crab meat omelet at Brennan's with a side of grits.
Wonderful.
It was wonderful, and we ate at the Court of Two Sisters. And yeah, lots of seafood.
Love it.
It's nice.
So now, for the next layer, after you're going to do your crust, and actually you can do a regular pie crust, it is totally just fine. So what you would do is you would make your crust, mix it all up, and then you would bake that for 20 minutes just to get that crust set. And then what you would do is, let's pretend that we have that done.
Okay.
You're going to take about 2.5 pounds of tomatoes, and you're going to slice those up really thin. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Some chives, some cheddar cheese, grated, as well as some basil. And you're also going to put in a little bit of black pepper and salt to taste. And all it's going to be like is a Mexican layered dip. And we're going to layer it one at a time until that pie crust is totally at the top. And then we're going to throw it back in at 425 for another 20 minutes. And there you have it, tomato pie.
All right.
So, word to the wise, if you are topping something that you are baking at 425, which is a pretty high temp, I would cover it with foil because that cheese will burn and it will be nasty.
Okay.
And that is not good. So, let's get chopping.
I mean, someone's not going to come in and do the chopping for us?
Yeah, I kind of miss that down south, don't
I know.
you?
We had somebody else do all the chopping.
All right, any good Southern woman knows how to cheat to make herself look better. And that's
we do.
exactly what I'm going to do today. You can choose to make your own crust. You can also make a very good crust by grabbing that can of biscuits from the grocery, and then you can take that, say 8 of them, and then press them down with your fingers.
Oh.
Exact same effect. In our case today, see this one's hard, we're going to use a microwaved pie crust. I'm just gonna kind of lay that in there like that for now. And tomato pie is so easy and it is so good. Have you ever had fried green tomatoes?
Oh, heavens, yes.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. So I got these awesome tomatoes from the Safeway. We have great grocery stores.
Yeah, we do.
And we're just gonna kind of slice those up. See how thin I'm doing that?
Oh, Lord.
And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to look good. Just kind of.
Well, I'm glad about that part because so far.
There you go. So you're gonna lay those in there. And sticker needs to be removed. Hello. Those don't taste good. Okay, so just keep slicing away. Kind of like that.
You know, I read a good book. This reminds me of that. It's called The Help. Have you read it?
Oh, that's an awesome book.
That's an awesome book, and it's about having somebody who comes in and does all the slicing and dicing and all that work. And it's written from the point of view of 2 maids and a woman who has a maid. It's a very interesting book.
And guess what? Here's a bit of trivia for you. That book was written in a town and took place in a town that was less than 40 miles away from my house.
Seriously?
Back in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Just right outside Tallahassee.
I remember when I first moved away from home, my mother said, "And do you have a maid yet?" I said, "No. Minimum wage? I don't think so."
No, don't think so. But it is a cultural difference in the sense that not a lot of people up north, especially here in Alaska, even think about that. And it is somewhat of the norm down south to this day. Okay, so we have that. And then what we're going to do is just lightly dice up some chives. Now, I'm never about wasting anything, so I'm going to save these for an omelet or something else that I want to make. These will be awesome in the Bloody Marys as well.
Oh, yeah.
So use the green part.
Can we make those now? Just a thought.
All right, so we've got the chives, and again, it's all about kind of just eyeing what looks good to you. This is a dish that should ideally come out of your garden. Now, we live in an unusual gardening climate here, clearly. So it could be what comes out of the great produce sections in our grocery store. So you're gonna kind of go ahead and do that. And then you also want to use fresh basil, not the jar basil for this. Oh, that smells good. That smells like the garden.
It does smell like the garden.
So we're gonna go ahead and chop up a little bit of this, And this doesn't have to be any sort of neat, just make sure that it's small. So have you ever been to the Kentucky Derby?
I have not, but my mother's family are friends with the Carters. They live in McKenzie, Tennessee.
Really?
And Dixie Carter is one of the Carters. And my mother used to go to the Kentucky Derby with the Carters. And so she went with Dixie and with Hal Holbrook. And we heard about it all year long. Well, Dixie says, well, Hal says.
And it's amazing how people get dressed up to go.
The hats.
The hats.
Are incredible. Have you been to the Kentucky Derby?
I have not. However, we always had a derby party back in Ohio. And you could not peel anyone away from the TV. Okay, so that's done. Sprinkle that a little bit. And then do y'all a favor. Get the cheese that's already grated.
Since you don't have help.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know what I found? That even the term maid is frowned upon outside the South. I said something about maids, and they said, they bristled and said, I said, oh, because I said, you have a maid? And I said, no, I have a housekeeper.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Holy cow. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take just a little bit of salt. Again, I always do it in my hand. Just kind of see. Tomatoes and salt, always good.
Oh, yeah.
And black pepper. So again, you can kind of do a little bit in your hand, right to your taste. Now, we're using a small pie dish, but if you were to use a big pan, which you could, you can layer. All it is tomatoes, chives, basil, cheese, spices, and then right back again. So what we can do is kind of curl this up. And this is only because we're using a big pie crust. And you're going to put this in at 425 for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you are done. And you've got a great appetizer. What I would serve it with is I would take a little bit of chives and mix it in with some sour cream and put a little dollop of sour cream on the top. Or you could serve it with a little bit of ranch dressing kind of drizzled on there, or even Caesar dressing. But this is a nice, fresh dish, super easy. Take it to your next garden party as an appetizer.
I bet it would go good with Bloody Marys.
Okay, so have you ever had company show up at your house and you simply were not ready?
More times than once.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the world's ultimate easy, coolest hors d'oeuvre ever with a little twist. So the first thing that you could do is take a regular block of cream cheese. And this is the easy version. We're not gonna make it like this today. And take a dish like that, maybe a little bit larger. And this is jalapeno jelly. I also like apricot preserves. But lay this bar of cream cheese in there and then slather those preserves over it. Add a little horseradish, a little kick.
Oh.
Now I think this jelly would be just fine as it is. Now we're gonna kick it up a notch today. And what we're going to do is we're gonna take this sheet of phyllo dough and we are going to cut it into little squares. And I have this handy dandy little tool and go boop, boop. And then we're gonna make these neat little cups. And we're gonna take little dollops of this and a teaspoon of that, and then we're gonna bake it, and it's gonna be phenomenal. This is the one you don't need crackers for. If you choose to do it the other way, you definitely need crackers.
Okay.
So if you open that and kind of mush it around in there.
Do you have a musher? Oh, you want me to use that? Oh,
You
I thought
can
that
use
was
the
for
musher.
this. Okay.
Multitasking on the tools. I'm gonna tell you what, you can never go wrong having cream cheese in your fridge. Cream cheese goes well with everything, which is why when I saw this on sale for $1 each at our Safeway, I grabbed like 40 of them. Cream cheese goes in everything. So phyllo dough is awesome too because it's nice and light and flaky. And it's pretty much ready-made. See, look at that. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even think that you need to be so fancy as to necessarily cut it in perfect squares.
Okay.
You could kind of just, I would probably, this is really, really thin. I'd go with double sheets. Okay. If you want to be really fancy, you can get your sheets and then twirl one. And then when you put it in there, go like that. And that's, there you go.
Oh, okay. Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So the other dish that we're going to make is very similar to this. And if you wanted to mix it up and make it look really, really pretty,
yes,
you have your phyllo dough and do the exact same thing. They call for 5 sheets. I don't think so, but you could do it however you think looks good. But go ahead and push all of these in there. Either use that or your fingers. Either way, it looks nice and pretty. So you could do the 1 teaspoon of the cream cheese. And you know what? I might even throw like a little bit of garlic in there or a little bit of horseradish. It's totally up to you and go crazy with this dish. But the other thing that you can do, where did my other tomatoes go? They have little baby cherry tomatoes, and it's called tomatoes in leaves. Oh. And what folks did is at the end of the season, with the garden kind of on its last legs, they take they call them tomatoes in leaves because they lift up the leaves of the tomato plants and find the, kind of tomatoes that maybe wouldn't be good on a salad. And they're ready to be baked. So they put them in here. The neat thing about it is you could also take a larger pan like this, using this. Let's say you had a bigger tomato, maybe like aroma or something like that. This would be a great dish. Now, we probably don't have a ton of tomatoes in our garden here in Alaska, right?
Not.
Yeah. If you're like me, you have none. But let's say maybe you went to the store and they had a sale on tomatoes and you went nuts and bought a lot of tomatoes, and maybe they're just not right for a salad anymore. And you're sick of making tomato sauce or whatever it is that you do with your tomatoes. Well, you can take some of this phyllo dough, and this was really inexpensive, a couple bucks for all of this, and make these and stick that tomato that's about ready to go bad right in here.
Nice.
And that's it. And that is an awesome hors d'oeuvre. And a neat thing that you could also do with the ones, the tomatoes that you put in here, is maybe sprinkle a little bit of basil on it, or you could put some garlic salt on it, really whatever it is that you want. I might even jazz it up with a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
All right, so we're being filthy. We're making a mess. What's new? And you know what? We do have help in Alaska. It's called children.
Oh.
Or as we say down south, chillin'. I got chillin' to clean up.
Children, please come and help.
There you go.
Like that works in my house. It
It
works in your house?
doesn't usually work in mine
okay.
either. I tried. So quick and easy. And if you think about phyllo, there's a number of different things that you could put in here. And it's very, very easy. Another really cool thing to do is if maybe you don't like phyllo dough, is you can take regular pie crust like we did before. And I have actually a really neat tool right here. And if you had a pie crust, what I do is I push this up a little bit. You can see it's round like this. And I'm gonna have my out of the freezer pie crust, and I'm gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna have a perfect circle. I'm gonna lay it in the middle. Then I'll take that, slam it down, and it looks like a little tart. But I think the phyllo goes nicely with the kind of lighter dish that you would want for summertime.
Well, it's pretty. It sticks up kind of funny.
And just I think it sticks up better if, make sure that all of the edges should not be perfect. It should kind of
I
look
think
like
I've got that non-perfect edges down pretty well with it.
I don't know about you, but I don't like these veil things.
They're really kind of annoying.
You can really go wrong with a bad hat, as evidenced by some of our young princesses lately.
Oh my gosh. You're talking about the wedding, aren't you? Really bad hats.
That is some bad, bad breeding when they are allowed out of the house with a hat that bad.
What were they thinking?
Yeah. Someone clearly wasn't thinking.
I know.
Okay.
Well, someone that didn't get invited to the wedding.
Exactly. You think that was a political statement on her part?
I'm going to send my daughters off with the most god-awful hats that God ever made.
I'm going to crucify my daughter with the fashion police by sending her that hideous hat. All right, so we are done with the phyllo. We just kind of lay that over here.
So next we're going with the cream cheese.
And I'm using the smaller tomatoes, and since they are so tiny, I will go with a couple of them. But so every other one I'm gonna throw, oops, I just did not follow my own directions. Good Lord. Okay, so every other one, and this would be actually, oops, straight tomato. So every other one, and then this would be a really actually pretty dish to take and pop in the oven at maybe a party that you're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Because this will go in at about 350 for roughly 10 or 15 minutes. You really have to watch this phyllo dough because it burns fast. And there.
So what happens with these other ones? That's the jelly ones, right?
That's the jelly ones. So just a little, you know that saying, a little dollop will do you?
A dollop, yeah.
Throw one in there. And I'm going to attempt
another southern
to open this.
measurement is a tad.
A tad, a smidgen, a scoop,
a smooch,
a dollop, and then you want to take just about that much. Whoa. Holy cow.
Oh. Yeah, let's add horseradish to that.
That's going to be spicy. Whoops, it doesn't want to come off. There we go. And then the cream cheese is really going to melt. And you know, the other good thing about Southern cooking is you cannot get away Southern cooking without, at some point, using your fingers. And you know what? People just have to deal with it. I have not had a person get sick from my cooking yet. Although maybe they just didn't say anything to me. I don't know.
I think I've got all the ones that I left. That is pretty. It looks very Christmassy.
I was just thinking that. Maybe we should have used maybe like a yellow pepper jelly or something.
Oh, that would have been pretty too.
But really, you could use any sort of jelly. Got them all? Sweet. Beautiful.
Very pretty.
Quick, easy. You're good to go. And that was probably, let's see, less than $10.
Nice.
Yeah, and we still have a ton left. Dave over at Newtown gave me this. And he thought these would be the perfect things for a Kentucky Derby party. So I thought we'd take a little halftime because cooking is very hard. Very, very hard. And what he thought would be a nice Alaskan vodka and an herbed Bloody Mary.
Excellent.
So we have that. And the other items that we have in here are, don't peek, for later after we finish cooking.
Okay.
So let's show the folks how to make a good Bloody Mary.
All right, sounds good to me.
And pickled okra is the key element in this. You cannot have a good Bloody Mary without fresh ingredients and a good stick of pickled okra. It makes it totally different than what you're used to. Okay, so any good adult Southern garden party is not complete without a cocktail. And that's very important because we don't want kids drinking, and also, if you're gonna be drinking, you shouldn't be driving. So we're gonna make a Bloody Mary, and because we are kind of still working, we're not gonna open this very fine bottle of Alaskan vodka that Dave so kindly got us. I know, sigh. But however, so we'll put this to the side. You can use whatever vodka you like. They also come in various flavors. Just make sure that you're 21 and you're able to responsibly imbibe. So the first part to this is about a 1/4 cup, again you can eye it, of lemon juice. And you're gonna do about a 1/2 teaspoon of basil.
Okay.
We're gonna throw in some Worcestershire sauce. And you're gonna do, here's the kicker, gotta have a 1/2 teaspoon of real horseradish.
Seriously?
Yep.
All right. So like, you know, a little glug or two of the Worcestershire?
What they're saying in this nice Southern cookbook is about a half teaspoon of Worcestershire. So I would say glug, 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 glug. Yeah, there we go. And the same goes for the hot sauce.
Glug, glug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, what they said is for you to go ahead and dice these up. I think it's nicer to make them look fancier. And go ahead and flare them out like
Very
that.
nice.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll put it in the top with our stick of okra. Got this nice tomato juice, and always over ice. We'll go ahead and put that in there. So ours will be a healthy drink, if not spicy, right?
Yeah, spicy
A little
for
spicy.
sure. And had we been using the vodka, we would have put that in first.
Yeah, probably. Yep, a little bit. So we have one there, and let's go ahead and top it off with some fresh basil. Again, fresh, people, not out of a jar. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut up another one of these.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and throw that just like that. And I would stuff that one down in there.
There it went.
So I've never had pickled okra.
No?
Not raw. No way. I always have it fried. Ooh, that's good. Holy cow.
Oh man, that is good.
That is awesome.
Not quite, you know, as good as the deep fried Twinkies, but still nice.
That's really good. Hello.
I got it.
I'm gonna see how spicy this is. Now let's be proper and Southern ladies. You're such a class act. Cheers, my dear.
Cheers. Nice.
Ooh, that is good.
It's really good.
That is awesome. Like, I would drink that in the morning. Minus the liquor, of course.
Minus the liquor, of course. Unless it's, you know, some.
Holy cow. That is awesome.
It really doesn't even need any liquor.
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. This is really good.
Really good.
Oh, that's good. Now, the one really cool thing that you can do with a garden party, I don't know about you, but I've been to millions of garden parties. You must, absolutely must, have the finger sandwiches.
No
In
crust.
order to have a proper Southern garden party, you must have that. So we're gonna make a chicken dill finger sandwich. And it's super easy, really, really easy. Picked up this roasted chicken from Safeway, $8, good deal there. Got some organic dill, lemon zest, red onion. I like Vidalias, but they don't have them, so we're gonna go with red. Or if you don't care for that, you can always use some small chives. We're gonna go with the red onion today. Mayonnaise, regular pepper, and obviously some white bread. Simple, easy, and they'll be ready in a flash. So the first thing that we need to do is cut up a little bit of onion.
Okay, I'll do that.
And dice that up. And I'll go ahead and rip apart this chicken. Make sure you get the skin off because it's very unladylike to have chicken skin dangling out of your mouth with your little tea sandwich.
Or stuck on your teeth.
Exactly.
When you say a little bit of onion, you mean
I would
quarter?
say yeah, a quarter cup will be just fine. And do yourself a favor, don't bother baking a chicken unless you want to torture yourself. If you're in a rush and you want to do it easy and you don't have help, then go ahead and just grab one of these rotisserie chickens. Matter of fact, I did a price comparison yesterday at the Safeway. To buy a chicken of similar size and bring it home and cook it was a full $4 more than buying this already done.
Oh, bargain.
Yep, so there we go, and just kind of shred that up. And there's a number of different ways that you can make your tea sandwiches. I myself, I love egg salad. Egg salad rocks. But some people are particular about their egg salad, so I decided not to serve that today. And another really neat thing that you can serve at a garden party is a variation of deviled eggs. Do you like deviled eggs?
I do.
Jalapeno deviled eggs are awesome.
Where are you on pimento cheese?
Not so much.
Yeah, people, you know, I have served pimento cheese, and people thought it was very exotic and wondered what it was. I was like, that was a staple.
Pimento cheese is definitely a staple down south. I prefer to do things with a little bit of a twist. For example, back to the deviled eggs, you can serve those with some nice salmon roe on top.
Oh, very
or
nice.
Smoked salmon, little pieces of it on top. That's awesome. Okay, so you're just gonna kind of rip this apart.
Yikes, it's a strong onion.
I think that's about good for the onion.
Okay.
And this is easy, easy, easy. The other way to make this chicken salad is you can get tarragon. I myself am not a fan of tarragon. Tarragon reminds me of Thanksgiving for some reason. Sage, tarragon, thyme, all of those spices, I'm not big on those. And then the other thing that you want to do, and we'll just say we have enough there. This thing is about done. There's a little bit more left on here, but that looks to be about right. The other thing that you want to do is make sure and just take a half a lemon and go ahead and put some lemon zest in there. And that's going to give it that little bit of twang.
Uh-huh.
I
am. My eyes are watering. Yeah, why don't you cut up the onion, Marty?
Well, okay.
Lousy me, Miss Michelle. There goes my mascara.
So, and see how this is, I'm doing this right over the chicken and some of that lemon juice is getting down in there. It's gonna give that little bit of twang. So, just about that much. Again, a lot of Southern cooking is all about awing it and a lot of real basic stuff. So, you've got, you can kind of see that in there. Sure you don't want, no.
Yep. Thanks.
And another handful of salt, another handful of pepper. Now, if you're a good Southern cook, you don't have any pepper smaller than this in your house.
No.
That's all there is to it. In fact, it should be bigger, but I couldn't find it. Then what I'm gonna do is chop up.
Oh, you're going to chop up the dill.
I'll let you do the dill.
Oh, thank you.
How's that?
Yeah,
I'll do the bread
make up for it.
slices, because the bread slices are absolutely key.
How much of this do you want?
I would say that's good.
All right.
You're gonna need a full loaf of bread. We're not gonna make a full loaf today because we don't have that many guests today. However, ideally, you will have a ton of guests that you're cooking for. Always, 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 always cut the crust off of your bread.
And a good Southern kitchen is not complete without a dog. And so now we have the dog that has joined us.
I think she likes your cooking, Marty.
I think she must.
And you know, there's actually, if you think about it, there are certain breeds of dogs that you regularly see down south.
Hunting dogs.
Hunting dogs, you got it.
We had a hunting dog named Cindy. Used to walk me to school.
Okay, so you have cut the crust off of the bread. Simply cut right down the middle, like that. And you are ready. Now, people, give these to the birds or make croutons. Don't just throw them away. Or you can make your own breadcrumbs. Waste not, want not. And then, what do you think? How much is this? A little dollop will do ya?
Oh, of mayonnaise?
What you think?
Big dollops.
A big dollop will do ya.
Yeah. A dollop of mayonnaise indeed.
No. I know people down south that eat it right out of the jar. Swear
I do too.
to goodness.
And not Miracle Whip.
No, not that is a sin. Miracle Whip is a sin.
It's like, Miracle Whip?
No. Have you ever made your own mayonnaise?
I have, and it was terrible, so I didn't do it right, but you have, I assume.
I have. It's tough though.
Probably
It is really tough. It is a difficult thing to make. So that really smells good.
It does smell good, and it's pretty looking too. It's the onions that make it look so pretty. So
It
that
is.
was worth it.
And it was your tears of joy in
Tears
there.
of joy. That's what did it.
Your tears of joy in our salad.
Goodness.
All right. So a very simple, easy chicken salad. Now, I'm sorry, I've got to do another Southern thing here. Don't use your spoon. It's got to look pretty.
Yeah.
And you want to form it perfectly on there because you're going to want to chill these for a little while. Now, another thing that I would do if I were going to be fancy is I might take a little sprig of that dill and just kind of have it on there, or you could put a little bit of butter or a little bit of mayonnaise on here with a little bit of a brush, and then you could sprinkle it with whatever spice you prefer.
That's a nice idea.
And then it would look pretty. So should we do a taste test? Even though they're not chilled?
Yeah, even though they're not chilled, I think we could probably do
All
that.
right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let me do it. Ready?
Ready?
All right, there we go.
Oh, it's very good. Very good.
That was awesome. That was really good. Taste that lemon?
I do. It's subtle. It's nice. And I think the dill was a much better choice than the tarragon.
I completely agree.
I'm going to taste some more.
Okay, me too. How do you make a mint julep?
Well, the recipe I saw starts with 3 cups of bourbon, so I knew I was on the right track.
Or hours and hours and hours of making simple syrup, right?
Right, it's a 24 hours. It was how long it takes. It's a 24 hours.
Okay, I have a much easier recipe according to this very cool book.
Oh, nice.
And it's very, very simple. Obviously ice, we're not gonna taste test this one, but give a little props to Dave down there at Newtown. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of lime juice. This is my favorite. This is awesome stuff. And then you can either use 7-Up or sparkling water. 7-Up will make it sweeter. That's what I would use.
Okay.
And then you want to use a 1/4 cup of your favorite bourbon. I, of course, had to go with Jim Beam. And then a 1/4 cup of creme de menthe. And that will make an awesome mint julep. And then, of course, you cannot go wrong. You have to take fresh mint on top. And that will be your crowning glory of the Kentucky Derby Southern Garden Party.
Well, I looked for mint julep cups when I was in New Orleans, and I didn't find them. The traditional mint julep cups are about this high, and they're silver.
Yep.
They're pretty.
And I have seen them chilled in all sorts of separate ways, but I like mine just straight ice.
Yeah, straight ice.
Alrighty, I'm gonna show you how to make a really neat, super cool drink that you can enjoy with a non-alcoholic champagne, as well as some fresh fruit. And there's a number of different ways that you can make it. But what I did is I picked this up at Safeway in the organic aisle, and this is a peach mango juice. And you could use whatever flavor that you want. And I would do it again over the rocks. And then I would throw in some of these.
Okay.
And again, we're not going to open this because we need to return all these to Dave. But this is a nice pink champagne. But the neat thing about this is you can use a sparkling cider and it will be just as good.
Okay.
The other really cool thing that you can do, and I have done this before, is much to my guests' delight, is frozen up a bunch of fruit. And as opposed to dropping it in like I am right now, you can make ice cubes with the fruit inside. And it makes for somewhat of a powerful punch.
Nice. I can tell you were from the South when you said frozen up. That's so difficult.
We didn't even open the alcohol, but I have one last suggestion. The crowning glory when your horse crosses the finish line at the Kentucky Derby. This is my favorite in the Deep South, Jeremiah Weed.
My goodness, country peach sweet tea.
Flavored like bourbon.
Flavored like bourbon? Seriously.
How appropriate.
How appropriate indeed.
All right, so we're fixing to be done with this meal, and I think it was really good and really easy. And you too can enjoy this on your front porch perhaps when it finally gets hot here in Ketchikan.
I'm gonna taste some more.
Okay, me too. Hold on.
Oh, you're rolling, aren't you? Well, I'm picking my teeth. Well, I'm picking chicken salad out of my teeth.
You're gonna think we really are drinking.
I know where you work.